The year is 70 AD, a time when the Roman Empire was at the height of its power, exerting control over vast territories. The sun beats down on Jerusalem, a city steeped in history and religious significance. Its streets, once bustling with life, now lie in a tense stillness. But this is not a time of peace. The streets are eerily quiet, the silence broken only by the distant clang of Roman iron against stone. The air is thick with anticipation and fear. Jerusalem is under siege, surrounded by legions of the Roman army, led by the determined general Titus. The Roman forces are relentless, their siege engines poised to breach the city's defences. What began as a local uprising against Roman rule had spiraled into a full-blown war, culminating in this fateful siege. The Jewish rebels, though outnumbered, fought with fierce determination. The siege of Jerusalem, a pivotal moment in both Roman and Jewish history, would leave an indelible mark on the ancient world. The city's walls, once symbols of strength, now stood as barriers to survival. It is a story of conflict, destruction, and the resilience of a people facing unimaginable hardship. Families were torn apart and the city was left in ruins, a testament to the brutal reality of war. The events of 70 AD continue to resonate even today, serving as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the enduring power of faith and identity. The ruins of ancient Jerusalem stand as silent witnesses to a past that shaped the future. To understand the siege, we must first delve into the tumultuous relationship between Rome and Judea. Roman rule, established decades earlier, had always been a point of contention for the Jewish population. The Romans, with their foreign gods and customs, were seen as oppressors. Heavy taxation and restrictions on religious practices further fueled resentment among the Jewish people. This simmering tension finally boiled over in 66 AD with a series of violent uprisings against Roman authority. What began as localized revolts quickly gained momentum, spreading throughout Judea like wildfire. The Romans, initially caught off guard by the ferocity of the rebellion, soon responded with overwhelming force. Leading the Roman legions was the young but capable general Titus, son of Emperor Vespasian. Titus, eager to prove his mettle, approached the siege with ruthless efficiency. On the other side stood a divided Jewish leadership with various factions vying for control. Among them, the most determined and fierce were the Zealots, a group of Jewish nationalists willing to fight to the death for their freedom and their city. These were men driven by religious zeal and a burning desire to liberate Judea from Roman rule. Figures like Simon Bar Giora and John of Gischala emerged as key leaders, their names etched in the annals of this epic struggle. The stage was set for a confrontation that would decide the fate of Jerusalem. As the Roman legions marched on Jerusalem, the city prepared for a siege. Walls were strengthened, provisions were stockpiled, and citizens braced themselves for the inevitable onslaught. The Romans, masters of siege warfare, arrived with a formidable force. Their ranks included not only legionaries, but also auxiliary troops and engineers skilled in the art of siegecraft. Titus, aware of the religious significance of Jerusalem, initially sought a peaceful resolution. He offered the Jews a chance to surrender and avoid bloodshed. However, his offer was met with defiance. The defenders of Jerusalem, fueled by a potent mix of religious fervor and national pride, were determined to resist the Roman invaders. The stage was set for one of history's most brutal sieges. The Roman army was a force to be reckoned with, feared by enemies far and wide. Their legions were renowned for their discipline, organization, and brutal efficiency. Each soldier was trained to perfection, their armor and weapons meticulously maintained. Titus, a skilled strategist, employed a multi-pronged approach to the siege. His tactics were both innovative and ruthless, designed to break the will of the defenders. He ordered the construction of massive siege towers, some as high as the city walls, from which archers could rain down arrows on the defenders. These towers were engineering marvels, showcasing the Romans' advanced construction techniques. Catapults, capable of flinging huge stones with devastating force, bombarded the city walls day and night. The relentless assault was designed to weaken the fortifications and demoralize the defenders. Roman engineers dug tunnels beneath the walls, hoping to undermine the fortifications and create breaches for their troops to exploit. These sappers worked tirelessly, often under enemy fire, to ensure the success of their mission. The Romans even resorted to using starvation as a weapon, cutting off supply lines and hoping to starve the city into submission. This tactic, though brutal, was often effective in forcing a surrender without further bloodshed. Despite their valiant efforts, the defenders of Jerusalem were no match for the relentless Roman war machine. After months of grueling siege warfare, a breach was finally made in the city walls. Roman soldiers, fueled by months of fighting and the promise of plunder, poured into the city. What followed was a scene of unimaginable carnage and destruction. The streets of Jerusalem ran red with blood as the Romans, driven by vengeance and bloodlust, massacred the city's inhabitants. The temple, the holiest site in Judaism, was set ablaze, its golden roof melting in the intense heat. The destruction was absolute, a testament to the brutality of ancient warfare. The fall of Jerusalem had catastrophic consequences for the Jewish people. The city lay in ruins, its population decimated. Thousands were taken as slaves to Rome, paraded through the streets as trophies of victory. The Arch of Titus, erected in Rome to commemorate the victory, still stands today, its carvings depicting the spoils of war taken from the temple. The destruction of the Second Temple marked the beginning of the Jewish diaspora, the scattering of the Jewish people from their homeland. It was a pivotal moment in Jewish history, leading to the development of new forms of religious practice and communal life that would sustain them through centuries of exile. The siege of Jerusalem was a watershed moment, not just for the Jews, but for the Roman Empire as well. This brutal conflict, which lasted for several months, saw the Roman legions, led by future Emperor Titus, laying siege to the city. The Jewish defenders, though outnumbered and outgunned, fought valiantly to protect their sacred city and their way of life. It solidified Roman dominance in the region and served as a stark warning to any who dared challenge their authority. The fall of Jerusalem was not just a military victory, it was a psychological blow to the Jewish people and a demonstration of Roman power and efficiency. The events of 70 AD were meticulously documented by historians on both sides of the conflict, ensuring that this pivotal moment in history would never be forgotten. These records have provided invaluable insights into the strategies, struggles, and human experiences of those who lived through the siege. Josephus, a Jewish historian who fought against the Romans before defecting to their side, provided a detailed account of the siege from a unique perspective. His writings offer a rare glimpse into the complexities of the conflict, the motivations of both sides, and the tragic consequences of the war. His writings, along with archaeological evidence unearthed over centuries, have allowed us to piece together a vivid picture of the siege and its aftermath. These discoveries continue to shed light on the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring impact of this historical event on the cultural and religious landscape of the region. The siege and sack of Jerusalem in 70 AD stands as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the enduring power of faith and identity. It is a story of courage and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds, but also a cautionary tale about the devastating consequences of religious and political extremism. The events of that fateful year continue to resonate even today, reminding us of the importance of tolerance, understanding, and peaceful coexistence. The lessons learned from the ashes of Jerusalem are as relevant now as they were nearly 2,000 years ago.